Hello, Taurus Moon. Your love angel is Asmodel. Caring is your pride. Enduring realists are your tribe. And artistic environments is your bribe. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is your Moon in Taurus, or Taurus Moon, horoscope transmission. The lunar bull is a saint when it comes to matters of the heart. You need to understand that other people love you very much and have easy ideations or fantasies of romance with you, Taurus. This is because Taurus Moon, when your moon is in Taurus, the lunar bull, what that does is it takes all the watery aspects of the moon and some of the airy aspects as well, and mixes that with your Taurian or Taurus fixed earth nature. Now, what do we get when we mix water with earth and provide a little bit of air? Because the moon, again, air and water aspects, what you get is you get a perfect environment to grow anything. So you nurture everything and anything, and everything you come in contact with, moon in Taurus, grows into something wonderful. Because you actually do care. And people often don't understand that you actually care. What happens to Taurus Moon in emotional relationships, personal relationships, even in work relationships, but relationships of any kind, what happens is that people mistake your caring and concern for you trying to dominate them, or they think you're being condescending. At this point, people become defensive. And when people become defensive, you feel that they're exposing their weakness and that it can then be strengthened, which is good. That's a good point. However, you need to understand that it also makes people angry, and it also makes them a little bit vengeful towards you. Plus, it creates a situation where people may tend to avoid you, although they're not going to avoid you forever. Now, here's the good part about the fact that you really are caring and trying to strengthen people rather than actually trying to harm them. Because deep down inside, no matter what their mind tells them, their heart knows the truth, even if their mind is telling them something different. So eventually, your constancy, your dependability or predictability comforts them and enables them to actually benefit from the care that you've given them and the fact that you're trying to strengthen them. There does come a time, however, when your relationships would be happier, Taurus Moon. Again, those with their moon sign in Taurus, you'd be happier if sometimes you approach people in a way where you're not just trying to expose their weaknesses all the time, but simply deal with them from a position where they are actually comfortable. Because trying to move someone into an arena where they're not comfortable is, again, going to make these individuals that you want to do business with or that you want to have relationships with, it's going to make them feel that somehow they're going to lose out, or they're going to have to be put in a second level to you. They're not going to be able to see eye to eye. So you actually do well when you deal with people eye to eye. And of course you do well when you dominate people, because you're trying to help them. It's sort of a maternal or paternal aspect, if you will. It's a parenting aspect. But those who you want adult relationships with don't need to be parented. And if you do parent them, then you must not complain that they're not behaving in a grown-up manner. So you understand, and there's two sides to this coin. Now, what you might find, people feel that you need to take more risks, that you're too careful. Although they come running back for more when they're insecure, don't they? So don't let them tell you that your constancy, or that your dependability, or that your predictability is a bad thing. Don't let them tell you you're a yawn, a big snore, because you're not. They're just jealous. Now, again, the watery aspect and the earth aspect and the little bit of air that's present in the moon, because Raphael and Gabriel, these two archangels, share the foundation of Yesod in Christian Kabbalah, the moon. Okay? These aspects, the air and water and the earth, again, grant you a lot. But where is the fire? The fire actually is part of what the bull is very good at, what you have access to. It's called terrestrial fire, and it's sort of akin to magma from a volcano, if you will. This is where the bull's secret strength lies. And because in the judgment card in Christian Kabbalah, there is celestial fire, solar fire, and terrestrial fire. So you hold very well terrestrial fire, although you're not fire of earth. That's Capricorn. You're air of earth. But you still have some of that terrestrial fire. You also may find that people feel you're greedy. And they're saying, you're greedy and you shouldn't be greedy, and you should give all your stuff or your money or your property or whatever, your belongings to me, because you're just greedy. When people say that to you, they just are picking on you, and they just want to take what you have. For example, if you feel that these people are picking on you, this is where we get the picadors from in a bullfight, who put the bull at a disadvantage. It's sort of a whole bunch of people who are afraid of the bull. They cut off the points of the horn, then they stick them in a bull ring, then a whole bunch of people surround and come in on horses, and before any of that happens, they slice the main muscle in the neck so that they can't keep their head up. Then they throw these things to puncture the skin, and they send in these people on horseback to throw these things at the bull. You understand? Do you feel like this sometimes? And what is the purpose of waving things in your face and getting you to charge? The red cloth. What is the purpose of all this? What is really the goal? To turn you into a steak dinner and take everything you have. You understand. So this is what's going on all the time. Now what you need to know is that sometimes here is where the lunar bull needs to take a risk, and where the herbivore needs to taste the flesh, the tender underbelly of their tormentors. You need to taste blood once in a while. So here the herbivore has to sort of go ahead and find out what it's like to eat meat. And then they'll respect you. This is the way you will win in business. This is the way you will win in your emotional relationships. This is the way you will win in your personal relationships. You have to let others know that you're only an herbivore when things are good. When things become bad, anybody can be a carnivore. There's even plants. There are certain species of plants that are carnivorous. So you know this is true. So these mythologies that, from ancient Greece, where, different creatures are sort of chimeras, if you will, and these sphinxes from Enochian magic, made of the bull and the lion and various aspects of the eagle and the man, all of these chimeras. They're various sphinxes. And you can kind of form your own, but everybody sort of is already formed into one of these sphinxes. But you can, when you need to, take on attributes from animal totems you don't have in your birth chart. You can take them on. You can sort of take them on as a God form, if you will. I mean, Christians take on the God form of Jesus Christ. Every religion takes on their God form. And various religions have various God forms which one can take on by simply vibrating the name over and over again. Or singing the name. So there's many ways to handle taking a risk. But what you need to do is understand that if people are picking on you, then you're doing something right, and they're jealous and you need to do more of it. So simply continue in your constant path, and you're good at taking responsibility, so continue to take responsibility, and you'll do very well. All right, now, some people may feel that you're too much of a realist, and that you're too stuck in your ways, and that you're too stubborn. But again, that's discipline. And again, when things get rough, when things get tough, who do other people run back to? They run back to you, because they know they can trust you. They can't trust people who are inconstant. They cannot trust people who don't know where true value lies. You do. You know where true value lies. You know that in the real world you have to have real money. You know that in the real physical world, money is God. You know that. Now, that's different in the spiritual world. But here in the physical world, if you take care of your finances, that affords a discipline that allows you to be more spiritual and properly give. Because what are you asked to do? You're asked to give to those in need. And if you don't have anything to give physically, what are you going to give them? So you understand how having things in the physical world, because of discipline and hard work that you, the lunar bull, are very good at, because you have these things, you then can bestow and assist others, which is the highest act of being spiritual. That's the highest form of love and spirituality, because it's real. People can yap all they want all day about, who people should worship, but who is actually feeding them? Who is actually giving them shelter? Who is actually not just feeding them again for a day and spoiling them and then walking away and saying, oh, now you need me. No, rather you give them the tools they need to prosper themselves. You give them the education, the knowledge they need to help themselves. So, there's all these old cliches about if you teach a man to fish, you're going to help him for his whole life, whereas if you only give him a fish for a day, you've only fed him for a day. These types of cliches, they mean a lot. And these kinds of things can be found in many of the ancient books that we've had for eons. Most things, everything has been done before. Nothing's new under the sun. Everything's just sort of refurbished. Everything's in the Talmud, everything's in the Bible, everything's in the Zohar, everything's in there. So, people can find new venues for creativity by reading these books. All right. The lunar bull is going to do fine if you just take a little bit of a calculated risk once in a while. Don't take risks you know are going to harm you or your finances. But it's okay to take risks now and then, and it's, again, necessary, especially to show people that you're not a pushover and that you will become a carnivore when you have to. Okay. Thank you for joining us, Taurus Moon, and stay tuned for more planets in Taurus. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon.